And blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning here at St. Ignatius Catholic School, brought to you by CapEd Credit Union, Team Mazda Subaru, and Great Power Learning in Meridian, Idaho. That's where we are in Meridian, Idaho, a brand new Catholic school here in the Treasure Valley. We're going to be hearing more from students coming up. And, of course, we so appreciate everybody listening here on not only promoting our schools Thursday, but Thank You Thursday, where we have tickets to the Boise Music Festival. See Robin Thicke, Granger Smith, Matt Carney for free. We're going to give away a family 4-pack this hour. Caller 6 at 580-5436. 580-KIDO. You're going to win a family 4-pack just by listening to Kevin Miller in the morning. Joining us now, is she our favorite politician? Well, they probably aren't listening right now, so why not? Nampa Mayor Debbie Kling joins us now. Mayor Kling, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. It's good to listen to you and hear your voice.
Well, I know you've been very busy, and we can't wait. Coming up very soon, we'll be in Nampa once again, not promoting our schools, but Miller's Mission at the Walmart there, helping folks not only in Canyon County, but in the city of Nampa for summer, Clothes for Kids. Hopefully we'll see you out there, and I know you're doing a lot with the community. How has the first... I think it's been more than 100 days. Maybe, I guess we're in with that 100 days. How's it gone?
It's going good. We've passed that 100-day mark now, and the first 100 days is like running to 800. You know, it's a long sprint. So we're moving into marathon stage here where you got to, it's the long haul. Lot to do, but it's awesome. I love what I do, love our community. It's a privilege and an honor to serve.
Well, when we are speaking about serving, your administration taking over, you're looking at a lot of changes in city government in, the third largest city in the state. What is the state of the city? I know you had your State of the City speech, but a lot of us couldn't go out to Columbia to watch it. So while we have you here, and for people that don't live in Nampa but are, proud to have Nampa as a proud part of the Treasure Valley, what's the state of Nampa?
Nampa is, I tell you what, the greatest asset we have in our city are the people. Amazing people. Financially, we've got a tight budget. We need more police officers on the street. Our crime rates have gone up because we haven't had as many police officers as we need. So from a budget standpoint, it's tight. And then you add to that the wastewater bond that we are voting on Tuesday is coming up, and that's been in process for 9 years, and it's hitting now. But the city of Nampa is still paying off 3 bonds, and which total almost $6 million a year in our budget. It makes it tight. So we have a tight budget, but I knew that going in. So we've spent the last 3 months doing assessments and really getting a feel for where we are, and then we're moving into a strategic planning phase, and we're putting together a 10-year strategic plan and a funding plan. And mainly it's for the funding plan. How do we fund what we have to get done while we don't raise taxes? So there's work to be done, but love what I do, and it's nice to work with the community and collaborate and listen to people and figure out how to do it because it's their community, right? As I said at my State of the City, we, the people of Nampa, we are Nampa. So we're going to work together to figure out how to move forward.
Well, that's a great point. Let's talk about this vote because not only is Nampa facing some serious issues as far as infrastructure and commitment, we see that throughout the Treasure Valley. And whether it's wastewater or anything else, other communities are going to have to deal with that just because of the enormity of the people coming in.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the important messages is that this is not just Nampa. It's not just Nampa's issue. All the entities, Boise, Meridian, Caldwell, Kuna, Greenleaf, everyone's dealing with the unfunded mandate that was given to us by the EPA. And we have a responsibility as cities to comply. Now, we're doing everything we can to mitigate that and to make sure that we're as conservative and fiscally, conservative and good stewards of what we do to keep the costs as low. But $165 million is a lot of money. But we're going to be careful with that. Our goal is to go after a reuse permit, which means that we can reuse that treated water for industry and for irrigation. And if we can get that permit, which we're working with Idaho DEQ on, that would reduce the cost by approximately $20 million. So, there's work to be done. So even though we go after the bond, we're still going to continue the work to keep the cost as low as possible.
Nampa Mayor Debbie Kling joining us. Kevin Miller in the morning here from St. Ignatius Catholic School in Meridian. When we take a look at Pay Me Now, Pay Me Later, to the people that will be making this decision on Tuesday, what would you say to them specifically?
Well, what I would say, and as you may know, I cannot advocate my position on whether we support the bond or pay cash. What I would say to the public is, whichever way the vote goes, the work still has to be done. So we could have, and possibly should have, started this project. We could have started it 5 years ago, 8 years ago, and it would have been less expensive, but we didn't. And so we do have to start it now. The cost of construction is high. That's why the price is where it is. The real question for our citizens is how do they want to pay for it, not if, because it is a mandate. And so we can pay for it through the state revolving loan, which is a 1.68% interest. On the ballot, it actually says it's a higher interest rate, but we've been able to secure this 1.68% interest, which is it's a good interest rate. If we do that, our rates are not going to increase, and the cost of the project is going to be extended over a long period of time. If we don't do the bond and people say we want to pay cash, it's going to be a sharp increase in rates, up to 94%. The sad thing about that is that our seniors are the ones that are going to be paying for this, and they may not be here to actually ever use it. And that would, in my opinion, that would be unfortunate. But it's up to the people how they vote. And so at a 1.68% interest rate on the bond, that is a yes vote or to vote in favor of the bond when they look at that ballot. It's important that people vote. And, as you were just talking about the elections and all that's going on, we need people to get out and vote. Sometimes people think their vote doesn't matter. And I tell you what, it does matter. And on this issue, it takes a 51% vote. And if people don't get out and vote, especially if they vote no and the bond doesn't pass, there's going to be a sharp increase in and it's water rates, not taxes. It's the water bill. I will say, though, that we are one of the lowest water bills in the Treasure Valley. Greenleaf pays over $84 a month. Ours is $24 and a few cents. We're lower than most every other entity in the Treasure Valley. And so with the bonding, it's still not going to be significant. So we're lower than Pocatello, Caldwell, Boise, Meridian, Greenleaf. So even with the funding, we're still lower. With the initial years, we're still lower than surrounding communities. So,
Nampa Mayor Debbie Kling joining us here. Kevin Miller in the morning. Mayor Kling, first of all, we appreciate you joining us. We're overdue to catch up. We'll hope to see you in a couple weeks. But one issue that I'd love to talk with you about, our final question, and then we'd love to have you back. And maybe we could do this, a monthly segment with you if you would be willing to do that.
Love to.
Okay, definitely. Affordable housing is such an issue in the Treasure Valley. I know you've just gotten into office, but your thoughts on people in Nampa or throughout the Treasure Valley trying to find homes?
It is difficult because the values have gone up and because we have so many people moving into the Treasure Valley as a whole. As you know, Boise, this area is the number one growing area in the United States, which causes that competitive pricing just to spike. It is difficult. Nampa has actually a lot of affordable housing, and it's important that you do have workforce housing, people that are the working population that can find a good place to live. It's something that we're focused on. At the other side of it, though, is that if you have to have all kinds of housing, otherwise your tax base doesn't work, right? So it's an interesting mix, how from a city perspective, and this is something that I better understand today than I did prior to coming. Well, I knew it coming into office, but that you have to have a mix of housing. And so I think that's what I'm looking for our community is what is that right mix of housing as we move forward. But the unfortunate thing is it's good for valuations. It's good for those people selling their homes. It is very challenging. And the apartment rental market, those prices are high for the average individual. So it is a challenge for our community.
Well, we look forward to catching up with you. Continued success, and thank you for joining us, Mayor Kling.
I look forward to joining you when you're in Nampa, so I'll be there.
Take care, ma'am.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Our great friend, Mayor Debbie Kling, joining us from the city of Nampa. Big issue on Tuesday when we're talking about voting and bonds and everything else. We are at St. Ignatius Catholic School in Meridian, Idaho. Do want to remind you, coming up, that family 4-pack of tickets to the Boise Music Festival, caller 6, will be yours, but we have a very patient young lady who's joined us, Ava Mallory, who is ready to go. She's a tennis player, a piano player, and, oh, yes, she's a student here at St. Ignatius Catholic School. Well, thank you for joining us, ma'am. Good to have you with us here at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about your day here at St. Ignatius.
Well, I start the day off in math, and then we go to electives, and we usually have 2, and sometimes it's PE, and then we have lunch, religion, and science, and then humanities.
Sure. Now, you were saying, hey, Kevin Miller, let's make sure we talk about the electives. You wanted to make sure I had my talking points. So, for people listening at KIDO Talk Radio throughout the Treasure Valley, what are the electives here? What are those classes like?
We have journalism, dance, music, makerspace, and Spanish.
Sure. So that's a lot of classes to choose from.
Yeah.
And do you like those classes?
Yes, I do journalism, and we also have Sentinels, which is like student council. Mm-hmm. So I'm in those too.
Really? So you like journalism?
Yeah.
What about journalism do you like?
I like being able to write a newspaper for everyone in the school.
Yeah, we've heard about that. You go from the 8th graders to the 3rd graders, right? Is that the deal?
Yes.
Boy, that's quite a bit, and you cover the big stories. So have you thought about, as working as a journalist here at St. Ignatius and other places, what you would like to do after school? I know it's a little early, but, when you're a kid, everybody wants to be an adult, and when you're an adult, you want to just go back to being a kid. So your thoughts on that? Any thoughts of your future here?
I might want to be a lawyer. I'm
Yeah.
not really sure yet.
Yeah, well, you've got a little time.
Yeah.
Just a little. Why did you choose to come here to St. Ignatius? You're in 7th grade. Next year, 8th grade, and then you're off to high school. Why did you decide to come here? It's a brand new school.
Yeah, well, I like the idea of it being new, and it was really pretty, and I don't know, it's just kind of like the Catholic idea about it. We became Catholic this year, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, boy. That's marvelous. So faith is very important to you.
Yes.
Okay. When you talk about faith and how that mixes with school, how does that work? You have religion classes and that sort of thing?
Yeah, we have religion classes, and I really like that we're able to pray during classes, like in the morning on the speaker we have a prayer.
Sure. That's always so important, God in our lives, isn't it?
Yeah.
I so agree with you on that. What would you like to say about your day? You come in, and can you give us your class schedule? What's that like at 7th grade?
Well, there's actually 3 classes for the 7th through 8th grade. There's just an 8th grade class, a 7th grade class, and then a 7th, 8th combo.
Sure.
So I'm in the 7th, 8th combo. So we have our electives in the morning, and the 7th grade has their electives in the evening.
Sure. Then you've got your math and your science and all those classes, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite topic, a favorite subject at all?
Probably math.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that's good. Hold on to that one. What about math that you like?
I just like being able to solve problems, and we have a really good teacher.
Sure. Good teachers are important. So pretty soon the students will be coming in. What can we look forward to? Are there going to be a lot of people in our area right now?
Yeah, they're super friendly. I like just how kind everyone is. We're kind of all like a community.
Well, that's good because I'm a very shy person, so I'm glad they're friendly.
Yeah.
I guess you'll be playing the piano for us throughout the morning. Is that right?
Sure.
Oh, that would be awesome. Anything else that you would like to say maybe to your parents or to parents listening? Because, everybody's trying to figure out whether you're your age, Ava, or my age, the secret to learning and just education in general. Any thoughts on that?
I really like how this school is all about having fun, and I think that's a great way to learn because you learn things better if you have things you understand.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for being so patient. Outstanding job.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Okay, Ray Amaya says that it's time to get to the phone calls and then your chance to win. So we'll start with Cindy in Caldwell at KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller in the morning from St. Ignatius Catholic School. Good morning, Cindy.
Oh, Kevin, I am just here overwhelmed. I am so proud of those young people that spoke, and I'm going to have to say the unsung heroes in Catholic schools, Christian schools. Those parents, you had the mayor on talking about housing costs and water costs, and the variable that putting your child into a school that will teach, because I'll be right out there, their faith is in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and as a lector at times in the Catholic Church, because I too, like Ava, took the RCIA course and came into the Catholic Church, and it starts with that you're incorporating God, which sadly to say, and just by contrast, the other schools are not able to do. And Kevin, you know what, those parents, with all the other costs we talk about, they're the unsung heroes and the teacher. I have to say, almost in tears, with my sister-in-law teaching for decades in Massachusetts in a Catholic school, many of my friends would say, she can make 2-3 times the money. And when my brother was having some very troubled times as a Vietnam vet, it was because of that Catholic teaching that my sister-in-law stood with my brother. And I am ever grateful because of the teaching within the school. You are learning something. And she held on to her marital vows. My girlfriend at 17, she went to Catholic school in Connecticut. There wasn't a thought that she would not carry a baby to, that's my baby, and yeah, I'm really messed up, but I carried that baby. So I shout out to every Catholic school. I was blessed to take care of the nuns that taught in them, the School Sisters of Notre Dame in Connecticut for years. And the sacrifices that parents make, that people of religious faith make to teach these children is phenomenal. They don't complain about the funding is very difficult for teachers. I never heard my sister-in-law or anyone complain about that. So Kevin, I just, and Kevin Miller, you are so called to be a counselor. I don't know what you are thinking. If you ever leave that station, the way you are able to engage these young students is absolutely, positively a God gift to be able to talk to them. So I love the mentoring. That is a great idea. Going off to the zoo, the 8th graders or the 7th graders with the, with the little kids. They're our role models. So bless you for being over there. Bless God for the parents that are making these untold sacrifices on top of all the costs in today's living to teach these children. And I just am so overwhelmed by the ability for them to, in the world of today, to behold on to our faith in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and just believe it. When I taught in a Christian school too, you start your morning with honoring the God of the Bible. So wonderful show. I just can't, if I can ever put some seed money into that school, I will, or take a tour. So bless you for being over there, Kevin. And thank you. And where there's places of darkness in our history, the Catholic schools to me, or when I drive by a Catholic church, are always like little oases of light. So bless God for you and bless God for our Catholic schools. Bye, Kevin.
God bless, Cindy. Traffic and weather together. And we go to Pro-Life, who joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Pro-Life.
Hey, you find I've been on a hold so long I can't talk right. But anyway, you finally made it to a school that I approve of, and that is so
that's
nice.
Wonderful.
That's so nice that they have faith, in their education. That is just great. Anti-faith is the public school. So anyway, I just want to say one thing. The Club for Growth spent $7 million trying to defeat Trump, and now they put $639,000 into the Fulcher campaign, and it doesn't make any sense. And but anyway.
Well, the Club for Growth did, I believe, back Congressman Labrador as well.
Yeah, they might have, and they like to buy influence, and they're doing that. I would never take Club for Growth money.
I don't think you'd get any.
I couldn't get any because I can't win. So anyway,
I don't think you'd get money for a Club for Non-Growth.
Right. I don't have to take anybody's money because nobody's going to give me any. But anyway,
well, you're not motivated by money.
No, of course not. But anyway, that school, that's a great thing, and every child deserves to go to a school that has faith in it and teaching children faith in Christ, faith in the Heavenly Father.
Well, and remember, there's only one show and one station that brings you that. That's Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio Pro-Life. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Lee Joe in Boise on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, Lee Joe, is that right? Or Joe Lee? Or
it's Lee Joe.
Lee Joe. Thanks for your patience.
Usually when I call a radio station, I just say it's Lee because of that confusion pointer right there.
I'm a confused person to begin with, so.
Yes. Anyways, that young lady you just had on reminds me of my daughter. You know, math and religious devotion, and learning these things early. That she's got a bright future ahead of her. I got a little problem. That is that I'm the state Senate candidate for District 16. Now, a lot of people in that call in live in the great state of Idaho, but some of us live in the People's Republic of Boise and are represented by the Democrats in the legislature. All three of our legislative positions are Democrats. And we've got a lot of apathy, even in the Republican Party, about what the Democrats have done and how they've taken over in Boise. Nobody's launching the counterattack. I'm not what I'd call 100% qualified to be this, in this position, but we've got so much apathy that I was actually Grant Burgoyne was going to go uncontested in the November election otherwise. So this is we've got to fire up a few people that live in this district. We've got to get something going because the only way to stop the Red Horde is to have some kind of a counterattack. And we've got some strategies in place. We're thinking about what we can do, but it's just when the districts are starting to fall 60-40 in Boise, like I said, some of you guys live in the great state of Idaho, but a few of us are in the beleaguered little Stalingrads of the world, and we need some help. So,
hey, Lee Joe, do me a favor. Thanks for running, but send me an email, would you?
Sure, I
okay.
can.
All right, send me an email, and we'll see what we can do. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie. And we continue on at St. Ignatius School in Meridian, and you're right. Let's give away our first family 4-pack. Caller 6 now. You'll win a family 4-pack to the Boise Music Festival with Robin Thicke, Granger Smith, and Echo Smith. That is June 23rd. We are looking forward to that. You're going to win a family 4-pack. Caller 6 at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Have a young lady here joining us from St. Ignatius Catholic School. Would you introduce yourself to the listening public?
My name is Brinley von Herbulis, and I'm in 8th grade at St. Ignatius Catholic School.
So, 8th grade, your first and only year here. What caused you to decide to spend your last year in middle school, right before high school, to come to this brand new school, ma'am?
Well, I've gone to Catholic schools my entire life, and just something about it, I really, really like the smaller environments, and I love how they incorporate faith into the academics. We do lots of projects that are centered around faith, and just developing a closer relationship with God is really important to me.
Sure. Why is that so important to you, developing that relationship with God at a young age or any age, really?
It allows me to be a better person and just grow in who I am, and I think developing that early is going to help me later in life.
Sure. Of course, that is so personal, that religious, that spiritual faith in God, and to have that reinforced every day, not only at home but at school. Mm-hmm. Can you describe that at all?
I mean, it's just...
It's just there.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. What's your day like here?
We start the morning in our math class, and then we do the electives that we choose. There are lots of options, and I really do like the options that we have. Then we go to lunch, and then we have our religion class, and then we have science, and then English and history. And I think I would have to say my favorite class.
Now, you beat me to it
English.
Before I could even ask that question. You're definitely on point here today, Brinley. So your favorite class is English. Why?
Mm-hmm. I really like writing, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do for a job later on in life, but I know that writing is a very important skill to have. So,
regardless of what you do, you're right about that. Next year, your thoughts on what you're going to do next year?
I'm going to attend Bishop Kelly next year, and I'm very excited. I'm excited to go to another Catholic school, and I know that it's going to be a different experience, but definitely a great one.
Yeah, we've heard of those folks at Bishop Kelly. They're great people. When you take a look at just the future of this school, do you kind of think, well, I spent 1 year here, the first 8th grade class. When you see the younger kids, anything go in your mind what it'll be like in a few years, since we're finishing up one here?
I think it's going to be an incredible school moving forward. I mean, this first year has been amazing and a great opportunity and experience for me, but I think in the years to come, just great things will happen, and I'm bummed that I'm not going to be here and next year. But I'm excited for the younger students who will.
Sure. What's it like to play a part as a mentor with some of the younger kids? From what I understand, 8th graders and the 1st graders, you kind of work with them. You'll be going on a field trip, that sort of thing.
I think it's really nice. It's almost humbling because it helps us not to be so consumed with ourselves, and we're working with the younger students and teaching them good life skills, and we're working with them, and I think it's important to develop those relationships with people who aren't our age.
Anything else you'd like to share with us here at KIDO Talk Radio? Maybe some advice to people that aren't your age, some parents or grandparents. This is your time to be on the lecture stand, if you will.
Well, I just really want to thank all the parishioners and people who put time and effort into building this school. I'm so blessed to have the opportunity to go here, and it is a really wonderful school.
It's amazing to hear that from you at your age, ma'am. And, as a member of Holy Apostles, I can remember for many, many years people talking about the concept, and here we are today. Amazing what God can do. Mm-hmm. Brinley, thank you.
No, thank you.
All right, great job. Todd Erickson joining us now from CapEd Credit Union, not to be confused with Todd Christensen. How are you, sir?
Just fine. How you doing this morning, Kevin?
Always wonderful to have CapEd Credit Union with us, promoting our school, securing our future. And we go to all the schools, so your thoughts on St. Ignatius. We're right here in the epicenter of a school that is brand new.
It's tremendous to be here to see the school, and that this is their first year, finishing their first year. We've been doing this program for a long time. I've been in public schools, private schools, parochial schools, and it's just wonderful to see the schools, to highlight the schools, the teachers, the students, and it's great to live in a country where there's this opportunity for private schools and parochial schools and public schools, where parents have their choice to send their kids.
And our friends, the homeschoolers.
And the homeschoolers,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great to live in this valley, this country, and we're just pleased to be a small part of this.
When we take a look at CapEd Credit Union, what's going on?
Well, we're moving forward with things. Of course, we talk about the Camp Cash Ed coming up. We'll be doing a couple of camps in June and July, and so registration's now open. Those that are interested to have their kids come and join with us in those camps can go on our website at www.caped.com and sign up their young kids and spend a couple of days with our staff and learn a little bit about financial education and career opportunities for them.
Sure. Always a pleasure. I love Camp Cash Ed. It really helps people get that financial, fiscal fitness, if you will, so early on. And gives you something to do in the summer.
It does, and we've been doing it for several years, and financial education is important for us, and I think it's something that's needed in this in our society to promote those financial principles and concepts for young people, and so that's why we try to do that. We're still involved with our teacher grant program, which just finished our 9th year, and just a reminder that it is open to all educators and all schools and even homeschoolers and parochial and private and public schools, and so we'll be starting that up again next year, and just finished up another great year of teacher grants, and actually this week I guess is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yeah.
And so it's great. I guess I'd encourage everyone if you've graduated and you're no longer being educated by a teacher, maybe this week reach out to one of your favorite teachers and give them a call or reach out to them on Facebook or something like that and just tell them thanks for what they do. And if it's me, all my teachers are retired, but they still would appreciate to hear from their students, I think.
Well, they don't do it they don't do it for the money, they do it for the kids.
They really do, and it's out of pure desire to help and to educate our young people, and so it's wonderful that we take this opportunity to appreciate them this week.
Todd Erickson, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you coming out.
You bet.
By the way, congratulations to Ken in Meridian winning that family 4-pack of tickets to the Boise Music Festival. Coming up next, we'll hear from Tea Party Bob, Jim, and Don in Meridian. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And thank you, CapEd Credit Union, Grade Power Learning in Meridian, Team Mazda Subaru, and our friends here at St. Ignatius Catholic School. Again, congratulations to Ken in Meridian for winning those tickets to the Boise Music Festival. We will do our very best to give you another family 4-pack between now and 8 o'clock, but we've got to get to your phone calls because we only have so many lines. So let's start with the Sweet Prince of the Treasure Valley, Tea Party Bob, publisher of the Gem State Patriot, on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. Once again, thank you for promoting our schools, especially this new one.
You're just down the road from us.
Yes, I am. I watched the whole thing go up, so yes. In fact, it's not too far from my church.
Yes, we keep an eye on you,
there?
Lutherans. We keep an eye on you, Lutherans, yes.
Yeah, everybody needs to keep an eye on us. I believe that the voters are getting a little tired of hearing the political commercials, but worse is the false attack ads that are being spewed out by the Little, Eloquist, and Snyder campaigns, that these politicians are okay with allowing these ads to be broadcast that are casting dispersions of an untrue nature on their competition. It says something about their character and ethics and how they would not hesitate to lie to the public once in office. I have never heard so much vitriol coming out over the airwaves as in this campaign. It just shows me that many of the candidates don't really deserve mine or anybody else's vote. The worst of these commercials are coming from Little and Alquist, who say that they are conservative but sound like attack dogs going after their prey. These two must think that the prize of becoming the next governor is so important that it is okay to make false statements about their competition. Little, for example, says he is a conservative, but for 10 years he has shown that he is an elitist, crony establishment politician who has nothing to do with the revival of Idaho that he is always bragging about. If anything, he has been a detriment to revival. Look at his facts. He helped to bring Obamacare here. He picks winners and losers on new corporations with taxpayer money. He's done nothing for the middle-class taxpayer. He said nothing to Otter's veto on the grocery tax or the increase in the gas tax. He doesn't care about the working people. He cares about the lobbyists that pay his deceitful ads.
Well, and then we're going to have the Judgment Day on Tuesday. That's why these elections matter, and we're going to find out whether or not these issue ads, these negative ads, these compare and contrast ads are effective or, as some have said, would have the opposite effect.
Well, look, he's talking about Labrador's immigration stand, but remember who didn't support Trump and who was at the helm with Otter when we doubled the illegal immigrants in Idaho and tripled the refugees that were permitted to settle. We had 25% of Idaho's residents still living in poverty. And Alquist is not much better. He comes on a political scene, says he's going to fix our schools, but that's not his job. It's the school board's job. You have to wonder about Common Core advocate Tom Luna, who contributed $2,500 to his campaign, who says he's going to cut taxes, but that's the legislature's job. He had 15 years practicing as a doctor, and not once did I ever hear him about how he was going to help lower health care costs. Tommy says he's going to cut $100 million from a wasteful spending. Does he really think that we are that stupid to buy beachfront property in Nevada? He says he's going to run government more like a business, not unless getting urban renewal subsidies and selling a failed art school to Eagle to the school district counts as business savvy. I asked the people of Idaho to wake up and do some real homework on the candidates before going to the polls and making their choice, because there's a lot of horse manure going on out there.
And we're just the guys to cover it. Tea Party Bob, thank you for the call. Traffic and weather together at KIDO Talk. Back to your phone calls at KIDO Talk Radio. Jim in Meridian, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kevin.
How you been, Jim?
Oh, all right. I wanted to thank you for asking the governor candidates about the refugee racket. I think you're the only person in media who did ask them about that.
Well, thank you, Jim. I just take my direction from you guys.
Well, you helped me decide my vote because I hope all the listeners caught all the three major Republican candidates there. I hope the listeners caught their answers because two of their answers were unacceptable. And one answer was okay. It wasn't really great. The answers from the two lawyers, which is the two establishment politicians, Labrador and Little, they said there should be a refugee program, and that's wrong. That tells us they don't understand the Constitution because we're spending money on the foreigners when, here in Meridian there are several hundred school students who are homeless Americans right here in Meridian. And they're spending this money to bring in the foreigners and give them a free apartment, free health care, a voucher for cars, this kind of thing. So those two answers were unacceptable. Dr. Alquist had an okay answer that we should take care of our own people, and he's right. So those three answers, you see, in a country with a $20 trillion national debt, how could the two lawyers justify spending these billions of dollars on foreigners, on the refugee racket? It just doesn't make sense, and it's not right. It's not morally right. It's not constitutionally right. So those two lawyers, Labrador and Little, are unacceptable as governors of Idaho.
Well, Jim, thank you for the call.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for listening to KIDO Talk Radio. Let's see if we can squeeze in Don in Meridian with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Kevin. Hey, I'll make it quick. You played a commercial a little while back for Little that really got my gander up, and you've played one more since then. But a couple commercials ago, Little came on and slung a lot of mud at Labrador, and I don't really care for that kind of advertising in the first place, but when it gets pure lies, it really got me.